Ever have that feeling, that jolt of surprise when you realize something you see constantly might have roots way, way back in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're plunging into a really fascinating idea. Could lost languages, ancient ones, actually be like whispering into the design of modern logos?
It sounds almost sci-fi, doesn't it?
It does. And if you're someone who loves those quick insights, those aha moments that kind of shift how you see things, well, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, so this deep dive, it really springs from this exploration we saw online, a YouTube video, actually,
Oh, yeah?
from Pages&Beyong. It's called a Vorschlag 1.5, Freiwillige Hausaufgabe, Ergebnisse der Vorbereitungstests.
Bit of a mouthful, I know.
Okay.
But it digs into this possibility, this idea of using characters from extinct languages in, well, design today, especially logos right now.
Right, logos.
And it's interesting because it's not totally out of the blue. It builds on this older idea from maybe last year about using ancient scripts for like programming languages, development environments, even social networks. Crazy stuff. Wow. Okay. So not just visuals, but why focus on logos now in 2025? What makes it timely?
Well, the video points out, and it's true, 2024 saw this real explosion of new symbols, didn't it?
Yeah, for all sorts of new tools like Spotabel, those training splash tags.
Exactly. So symbols are very much in. And now, with AI advancing so fast in 2025, especially image generation AI, this logo idea feels, well, suddenly very doable, practical even.
Right. It's within reach now.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to the core question we're tackling here.
Which is?
Could using symbols from languages nobody speaks anymore actually offer something unique for logos, something, beyond just using letters from English or Spanish or whatever?
Okay. And to help us navigate this, we've got our expert perspective here, someone who can maybe shed light on why this might be more than just, I don't know, a cool design trend.
Well, I think what's really compelling is the value that's already packed into these old writing systems.
Value. How so?
On loads of levels, really. Emotional, visual, intellectual, even spiritual, you could argue. These weren't just random scratches. They held meaning, a whole culture's view of the world, their beliefs.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit. That initial idea you mentioned, the one from last year, using scripts like Old Persian cuneiform or Tangut.
Yeah, those were examples mentioned.
For more than just logos, what was the thinking there?
It was broader, really ambitious. Could you imagine, like, a coding language using Tangut script?
Whoa!
Or a social media platform interface based on cuneiform shapes. It was about seeing if these visual systems had untapped potential beyond just, ancient writing.
And now, for this dive, it's zeroed in on logos for 2025, using AI tools, templates, things like Adobe Express. Why the shift to just logos?
Well, logos are just everywhere, aren't they? They're the instant ID for a brand, an idea.
True. Very visible.
So focusing on logos makes the whole concept more, I guess, concrete, relatable. Plus, like we said, the AI image tech now in 2025 makes experimenting so easy.
Right, you can just whip up variations.
Exactly. User-friendly tools, massive libraries. It's the perfect playground for this kind of experiment right now.
Okay, but let's be real. Most logos use modern letters, modern words. And that works, right? It's clear, understandable.
Absolutely. Functionality is key for most logos.
So what's the counter argument? Why dig up these ancient scripts?
This is where the video brings up intellectual content.
Okay.
Using a symbol from a lost language, it kind of forces a little bit of historical awareness, doesn't it?
Huh. I guess it does.
Even just know, oh, that comes from a culture that existed centuries ago. It broadens your perspective a tiny bit. Requires a little stretch.
Which ties into that desire for, deeper knowledge, not just surface stuff.
Exactly. And it taps into that human thing, doesn't it? Our fascination with the past.
Totally. Archaeology, deciphering scripts, even time travel shows.
Right. We're drawn to it. So using these elements in something current, like a logo, it's like forging a tiny link back.
A tangible connection.
Yeah, a nod to the people who came before, their ingenuity.
Okay, this brings us to that Tangut example you mentioned. Fascinating story. Flourished 1008 to 1227. Wiped out by Genghis Khan.
A relatively short period, historically speaking.
But they made their own language, didn't just adopt Chinese.
That's the incredible part.
Yeah.
A conscious decision to create a unique linguistic identity. Not just a dialect, a whole new system.
And linguists apparently rate it pretty highly.
Oh, definitely. The video mentions Laufer, a German-American anthropologist, calling it possibly the most complicated writing system ever invented.
Wow. Complicated how?
Well, the characters weren't just sounds. often whole syllables or concepts packed into intricate strokes. Real intellectual heavy lifting went into it.
And another linguist, Kano.
Or Russian linguist, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He saw creating the Tangut language as this major creative act reflecting their unique culture.
And I love that metaphor they called their script. What was it?
Accumulated gold particles on the palm.
Yes, with like 3,600 normal glyphs and 3,000 cursive ones.
Exactly. It shows how precious they thought it was.
Yeah.
A treasure.
But one they wanted to share, right? On the palm.
Yeah, which is quite something, an open invitation to learn. Like a treasure available to us even now.
So, okay, fascinating history. But can we actually make logos from this stuff today with current tech? The video seemed pretty positive.
It did, and rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
With modern AI developing tools for this, it's realistic.
Yeah, like custom programs.
Or browser extensions even. Imagine picking an ancient language, clicking a button, getting logo options based on its characters. The underlying tech in AI art generators could definitely be adapted.
And the design possibilities.
Huge.
Right. Choose your language, combine elements.
Virtually endless. You could tweak styles, ask for different interpretations, really personalize it.
The video even called developing a tool like this homework, didn't it? Like an optional challenge.
Yeah. Bit playful. And they did some initial tests, right, to see what's possible now.
They did. First, just prompting Microsoft Designer for images about the idea.
And what came back?
Interesting stuff, apparently. Visually nice, but more abstract, theoretical.
Yep.
Not directly using specific ancient characters yet.
Okay, so capturing the vibe, maybe?
Exactly. Then came the real tests, the preparation tests, seeing how different AIs handled generating logos from actual ancient characters.
Okay. The key being similarity to the original.
Right. How close could they get?
And which characters did they use?
Nor specific ones. 2 Old Persian cuneiform, the letter U and the syllable ga.
Okay. Cuneiform.
And 2 Tangut, the character for heart and the one for singing.
Heart and singing, good choices, representing different systems and concepts.
So let's get into the results, starting with ChatGPT, Old Persian U.
How did it do?
Pretty well, it seems. The logo looked like the character, and ChatGPT explained it using images like a writing read, columns, an open book.
Oh, interesting connections.
Yeah, suggesting it for libraries, educational places, a direct link.
That's impressive. Not just mimicking the shape, but interpreting potential meaning.
Then the Old Persian ga. Again, ChatGPT kept it minimal, close to the original, easily recognizable.
And the explanation.
Read columns again, but also this idea of outward communication.
Makes you wonder about the original intent, doesn't it?
Totally. Now, Tangut Heart was a bit tricky at first.
How so? The AI initially linked the logo to the Chinese character for woman.
Okay. A common confusion, maybe?
Possibly, given the training data. But when corrected told it was Tangut for heart, the explanation changed, but the logo itself didn't.
Interesting. So it could adapt the text explanation, but not the image it already made.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Still, the logo might have evoked heart visually, even if the initial label was wrong.
But the Tangut singing character, that's where ChatGPT really shone, apparently.
Yeah.
The logo description talked about layering, movement, hinting at an open mouth.
Capturing the action.
But more than that, ChatGPT gave this almost poetic description, singing as sound, history, body, soul, the echo of lost peoples.
Wow, that's deep. For an AI.
Incredibly evocative, right? Moving beyond just the symbol to its cultural resonance, tapping into something profound.
That really shows the potential for connecting on a deeper level using these symbols.
Okay, moving on. Microsoft Copilot. How did it handle the Old Persian ga and U?
The video said the ancient script was clearly the inspiration, but the specific characters were less directly recognizable than with ChatGPT.
More interpretive.
Yeah, a bit more abstract, but still considered genial and usable. So a different approach, but still valuable.
And the Tangut singing. Copilot did something cool there.
It did. It visualized the process of singing using colors, vibrations.
Yeah.
Like it translated the lines of the hieroglyph into energy.
Double sense processing, the video called it.
That's a great way to put it. Engaging with the meaning, not just the form.
And Tangut Heart.
Generated a feeling of different lines.
Yeah.
More abstract again. And they also tried the Tangut character for rain.
Oh, expanding the test.
Yeah, just showing the potential to explore more.
Okay, last one. Adobe Express. What was its take?
Even more abstract. Highly interpretive.
For the Old Persian?
Yeah, acknowledged the inspiration, but the images were pretty far from the original characters.
Yeah, the Tangut.
Even more imaginative and fantastic, maybe even trying to show what the Tangut people looked like.
Oh, so very different priorities compared to ChatGPT, more about creative riffing.
Exactly. Leaning into novelty, visual appeal, maybe less about strict accuracy to the source script, which just highlights how different tools approach this.
So summing up these tests, the main point seems to be, yeah, we can totally make logos from ancient scripts using today's AI. It's easy.
Definitely feasible. You get different results depending on the tool, some closer, some more interpretive, but the potential is clearly there.
But it's not just about looking cool, is it? The video stresses something deeper.
Right. It's about that sense of connection, belonging to this long continuum of human civilization.
Tapping into that history.
Yeah, visually acknowledging the creativity and heritage that came before us.
And reminding ourselves that creativity isn't new, right? It's fundamental to all cultures, past and present.
And this is a way to actually engage with the creativity of those past cultures, make it feel less distant.
Okay, so as we wrap up here, it's been a pretty wild ride into this idea. Ancient scripts, modern logos, AI.
Guided by those initial experiments. And the key thing for you, the listener, is really that potential for enrichment.
How so?
Well, intellectually, sure, but also that deeper connection to history, just from a logo. But thinking about it, why would a brand even do this? Is it just for a unique look?
Or is there more to it, like a strategic reason?
Yeah. Could hinting at these ancient roots give a brand an edge?
That's a great question. Maybe it helps them stand out. Conveys history or mystery.
Absolutely. Imagine a brand wanting to seem timeless or wise, using ancient script element even subtly. That could communicate something modern fonts just can't.
Okay, so for you listening, as you go about your day seeing logos everywhere, think about this. Could brands gain this whole new depth by tapping into lost visual heritage?
What kind of feeling might those ancient symbols spark, even subconsciously?
Right. Which leads to that final thought to chew on.
If a logo could subtly carry the echo of a lost culture's creativity, its worldview, how does that change how we feel about the brand, the idea it represents?
And maybe bigger picture. What other lost treasures from the past are just waiting out there, holding unexpected relevance for our future?